All right, joined here by Jos Levesque. Jos, you were caught in the snowstorm out in Muskoka over the weekend. Can you tell us about what it was like?
Yeah, so I'm heading home from Toronto from work, coming to North Bay to see my kids, and you hear a bit of some snow might be happening, and you're coming into it, and it's, your normal typical snow day, and you notice it starts getting pretty thick fast, and um, the road started getting more and more snow on it, like thicker, like it wasn't plowed, and all of a sudden, just before the gas station, I wanted to fuel up, but the power was out. And even though I had a half a tank in the winter, I always try to keep as much fuel as possible. And it was a good thing I at least had a half a tank because by the time I just come out of that gas station, all the cars were stopped. And I thought, oh, maybe there was a little accident up ahead, or I heard stuff about power lines being down, and which makes sense. There's no power in the area. And a couple hours goes by, and then four, and then you're like, okay, what's going on? People are getting out, trying to talk to each other, trying to communicate because there's no communication. Even though you put the radio, you try looking online, um, and the best source was Facebook actually that helped, but I didn't think about that until 7 hours into it. Um, and you go around and you're talking to people. By 8 or 9 hours, there was a lot of locals coming by and offering, trying to make sure everybody was okay if they needed food or water in certain areas. And a lot of people, you could tell they were getting anxious and they wanted to try to find a side road to go around. And you look on Google Maps, I'm like, it doesn't coming back out. You're just going to hit. It's all blocked. Like there's no really way around it. And I looking at that, I did try to talk to some people thinking, should we call, authorities to get some feedback or somebody, at least one of us, instead of all of us calling to get some information. Because I didn't know how much longer we're going to be there. Should we start regulating our fuel, and shutting it off, preparing to hunker down? Because, uh, you know, going into this, you don't know how long it's going to be. That's the nerve, that starts getting darker, colder, and I when I walked around, there was people who were some diabetic, there was some babies, there was an elderly lady, Jackie, that nice lady. She was really nervous, scared. So we tried to assure, we're in this together. If you need any help, just honk your horn a few times, wave your hand out the window, but she had water and fuel and some stuff. So it really got me thinking, how much we do, especially up in the north here, have a good idea to at least keep some amenities in comfort in our car when we travel.
And you travel all over North America as a truck driver as well. Have you ever gone through a storm like this?
I've been to a lot of storms, especially a lot of ice storms. A lot of the storms I go through the states, a lot of it are accidents, but it could build up pretty good snow. But this one is unique in a way. Even when I was there, how fast the snow can accumulate, and it's in an area where you're trapped. There's no way around it, and it's hard. You can see it's hard for them to get things in there to plow the snow or ice it, and so it is like a little trap area that we, anybody that travels through there knows they've been through probably a little bit of storms here and there. But that was in all my life going through. Like I had a job in the past. I used to drive down to Toronto with a truck and back to North Bay and Sudbury for 4 years straight every day, and I've never seen it like that through there.
So what was it like visually for our viewers? You know, you're driving through. Is it just snow accumulation? Is it ice? What was it? What was it like for you?
Around that area.
Yeah.
Sorry. Um, it was a mixture actually. You got it. Like when I thought it stopped snowing, the sun was coming out, and then all of a sudden it starts raining, and then ice, and then it starts snowing again. It was like a wave, which is the worst combination of having that wet snow like that and then water. Like it was quite a mixture. Um, all the lakes around there, warm air pocketing, and the sky was going black, and then it went clear, and then went really dark again. It was interesting.
So you were stuck there for 9 hours. At what point did you start to realize, okay, we're going to be able to get started soon?
Well, you know, when they pulled or they move something up ahead, all of a sudden you get this sense of hope, and you move about 30 feet, 50 feet. You think things are going, and then you're stuck there for 5 more hours, so you start losing hope pretty quick. Um, but you know, there was emergency nurse there, and she went around saying we're definitely going to be stuck here for over 10 hours. Like I don't know how she got more information, but she was out helping people as well. And at first you're like, no, we're not going to be stuck here. Like this was like 4 hours in or five, and she's like, we're not going to be stuck here for 11 hours. Can't You don't want to believe it, right? You get kind of go in doubt, like you don't want that to happen. So, but then after a while, the more you hear and the more what's going on, you're like, okay, we might be stuck here for quite a while. And I was I was really lucky where I was, because I was more on the top end of it. And when they cleared out a couple, there was a good chunk of us that was able to get out, and the snow was coming, and I thought everything would start going again. And then when I'm at home and I'm looking, they're still stuck there 2 days later. I'm like, I feel a little guilty, but I feel happy that I'm out of that, because it's not fun. There was a lot of people cars when I traveled through that were abandoned. They were towing them to Canadian Tire. There was snowmobilers and some police ATVs and stuff with extra extended, uh, bringing water, food, and I think they were taking people to shelters, even in the city halls. So there was some stuff, but it's such a good stretch. It's hard to get to everybody, and so I don't know. I do feel bad about some of the people that tried to go off on the side streets. You don't know what kind of help they got because they just left the pack. I don't think for myself that was a good idea, knowing if some help's going to come, it's going to be there mostly, and you never know. Especially if I saw one single vehicle, small little car, just whip try to get through the side, and I'm like, if he ever gets stuck on the by himself somewhere, it's probably not a good thing to do. But the thing is, for me, I learned, like, being a truck driver, you learn to be patient, hanker down, and just be patient and communicate and try to work together, and relax and think things out long term, right? And yeah, if you start panicking, kind of cause more issues to yourself probably, and others. So it was an interesting experience. That's why I put it on my Facebook, some ideas, because I was like, stuff even when I was there, I wasn't really totally thinking about. You don't think that was going to happen, even though you're watching it in front of you. You don't think, you'd be stuck that long. You always think it's going to be, they're going to get us out. There's going to be help. And you start seeing some tactical rescue police, and I was like, okay, this is a lot worse than it looks. you know.
Well, Joss, I'm glad you got through and got back to North Bay safely.
Me too. My kids, at least I was able to connect with the family and let everybody know I was safe. But it's been interesting watching the reports, because you could relate to it a little bit easier when you're there. So it was, but yeah, I'm glad to be back.
What an experience. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you.